Okay, hello and welcome to our fourth episode of Adrenaline after No Remorse. We are continuing our build to Slammiversary. We have 22 segments taking up 125 minutes and we have most of our pre-show booked. So this is the week we've got Adam Cole and Austin Aries and Chris Sabin and Caristico in our tournament semi-finals. And the winner of those two matches will go on to face each other in 2 weeks, and then 2 weeks later is Slammiversary, I think. So we've kind of booked it out to be every 2 weeks. So you've got a rest week, quote rest week, and yeah. So let's get straight into it. We have 4,666. That is a interesting number. If there was another 6 there, it would be quite interesting, being a Christian and everything. Anyway, we're in the McGee Park Memorial Coliseum in North Minnesota. It's not North Minnesota. I got no idea where that is. We have Daria Bernardo. I think that's how you say her name anyway. Who was on a developmental deal in NXT and has been signed for about a month now. She defeats Taylor Hendricks in 2:33 by submission with a modified Go-Go Plata, so E27. Her bitch gimmick gets a below average. She's debuting as a heel because we don't have many credible heel knockouts. We have Rosemary and Scarlett. That's about it, because obviously Sienna and all those left because I wasn't really going to do anything with them. And Taylor gets a very good fan favorite gimmick, and it's good. I've had Taylor since pretty much day one. She hasn't made her debut or anything, but most shows Al Snow has been passing on tips to work as a babyface, so her babyface skill should be a lot better than it already was. But yeah, so 26 for Daria and 22 for Taylor. No worker improvements. Taylor Hendricks with a negative crowd reaction. Thank goodness it's not Daria, because she's on a written deal. Next segment, we've got a couple of debuts tonight. We have Unbreakable Effing Machines making their first appearance since No Remorse, because I didn't have anything for them. They defeat Red Dragon in 9:40 when Michael Elgin defeats Bobby Fish by pinfall with a sit-out powerbomb, and O'Reilly was unfortunately the weak link. C-55 is not awful. Obviously, Kyle was going to be the weak link. Got there eventually, because he's got a herniated disc in his back for the next 2 months. Fish was really off his game. Elgin better at his gimmicks, sweet. Bobby with a 53, Kyle with a 32, Cage with a 46, and Elgin with a 59. So Elgin's leading the way. No worker improvements. But only negatives are for basically poor momentum, working injured, and inconsistency. And here, so we brought in Billy Gunn as a road agent, which is just, I just thought I'd mention that, because he's probably not going to be on screen, because he's retiring from in-ring competition in a month, I think. Yeah, so next segment is Dalton Castle going over Abyss. Whoa, he was not happy with this. Abyss was not happy, but I was like, you know what, I'm not going to use you. You're pretty much a jobber now. And as we can see, new picture for Dalton. These are Rybolt's pictures. They are on the Grey Dog software. So if you want a pretty sick picture pack, go on there and download it. It's called the Super Awesome Picture Pack, I think. Yeah. So Dalton and Abyss don't click. Rosemary still is Abyss's manager, so I need to get rid of that. Dalton with a 32, Abyss with a 44. No worker improvements, which is not great. Negatives for Abyss and just the worker chemistry, and also the fact that Abyss was like, keep me strong or I'm going to chuck a fit. Next segment is another debut. We have Evie, who was also in NXT, and did nothing. I think she might have had 1 or 2 matches. But yeah, she debuts and defeats a local jobber, Delilah Doom, in 7:37 by pinfall with a top rope splash. Evie has debuted her bitch gimmick, which got an above average. 31 for her, 24 for Delilah, E plus 32. But Doom improves in flying, which is great, even though I'm never going to use her again. And we have Sudden Impact defeating a local jobber team of Mike Fox and Ross Von Erich in 7:20 when Ibushi defeats Von Erich by pinfall with a 6:30. It's a pre-show, and he's going for the 6:30 senton. Far out. They obviously have great chemistry. Ibushi with a 60. Andrews with a 55, doesn't matter about the other two. Ibushi's just been announced for the G1, which is awesome. There's like so many good matches he could have. Like Zack Sabre Jr., that's the Cruiserweight Classic match we wanted, but we never got. Oh, I can't wait. I really hope that they are in the same block, because they won't. If they're in different blocks, they're not going to win each block. I think the people that are going to win each block will probably be Naito and Omega. Naito and Omega, I think. And then Naito will win it. Or if they're in the same block, Naito will end up winning it, and we'll have Omega beat Naito in the G1 and have them face off at another event. Anyway, that's my thoughts on the G1. Hopefully Juice Robinson wins more than one match, but who knows. We opened the show with Riddle and Lashley in the middle of an intense brawl backstage. They brawl everywhere from the arena. It's not even late. Why am I not talking correctly? From the entrance of the arena into catering and finally into the crowd. And it's fairly even until Riddle catches Lashley with a stiff blow to the throat. So yeah, he throat punches him and Lashley collapses as you would. Riddle then just celebrates weakly, like he literally, I don't know, maybe just raises his arms and then just like limps out. So yeah, and he just goes home after that. C-57 is not bad. The storyline has advanced as we build towards their match at Slammiversary, which should be a really good match, I hope. And we move on to Trent Seven defeating Travis Banks in 5:27 by pinfall with a 7 stars lariat. So yes, Travis still hasn't won a match. There is a story with this, I promise. I'm not jobbing him out. He's actually gaining popularity. I think he's gone from an enhancement talent to an opener. So, as has like Anthony Bennett. Anthony Bennett hasn't won a match yet. And yeah, they're getting over. So yeah, D42. Travis with a 36 and Trent with the 39. The Rise of Travis Banks storyline has advanced. I'm not going to look at the negatives because I know Trent's got negative crowd reaction and it'll make me cry. Pretty decent rating for these four. Banks has lost again tonight, but Seven isn't done. He picks him up and Bate runs out. The two continue to beat on him for a couple minutes and they begin to celebrate when the local hero, Joe Hendry, runs out and starts attacking the two of them. And Banks, who he's a bit beat up, but he's not like unconscious. He joins in and somehow they clear the ring of Mustache Mountain. Hendry and Banks. So Banks is basically just like putting all his weight on Hendry, like, hold me up. Celebrate. It seems Banks now no longer has the numbers game against him. It's 2-on-2. So yeah. I think Travis Banks was part of the Prestige in WCPW. So yeah, it's Mustache Mountain versus the Prestige. D plus 50. So something to do with Joe Hendry. Rise of Travis Banks storyline does advance. And we see Caleb Conley and Eli Drake chilling backstage playing cards. They're having a good time and have beers just on the floor next to them. If you've never heard of the card game, P's and A's, President, Arsehole, you have no idea what's going on here, but I played that game like a ton over the last 6 years at school. So it was the first card game that came to me. So Conley says, "Hup, I'm President, sorry, you're the arse this round." He runs around and does like a little lap of glory. So like the Bo Dallas, victory lap. But as a joke, he puts his hand on his heart, he stops, he doesn't say "we the people," but he says, "I swear as the President of the United States of America that I will fuck, this job is harder than it looks, and they just both laugh and sit back down. They grab a beer. Eli says, cheers, dummy, because there's something in his contract that says I must put dummy in every one of his segments. And the scene fades out as they deal another round. Conley and Drake, for that matter, both hint at face turns. So, yeah. New tag team on the block storyline advances, no worker improvements, no negatives. So these two seem to be turning face. It's not Caleb's not turning face and Eli's staying heel. Nope, we're not splitting them up. Don't worry. D47 and the Guns. So we move from one tag team to another. The Guns are hanging around backstage. I swear. Sabin says, and I actually had trouble writing this because it seemed a bit forced, but as he says, great to have you back, man. It wasn't quite the same when you were out injured. And Shelley says, yeah, it's great to be back. I mean, you're doing well so far since I got injured. Honestly, that's awesome, and it is awesome. They're not splitting up. We've got our thing going. Part-time singles, part-time tag team. Now, my return was pretty sweet. Knocked some sense into Aaron Rex and everything. And Sabin says, thanks, mate. Yeah, we've both got our hands pretty full at the moment, don't we? And Rex walks in and goes, Alexander, you used illegal tactics to beat me last week. I want another match, but not tonight at Slammiversary. So, and Shell's like, yeah, right, whatever, you're on. Just don't chuck a fit when I beat you again. C-minus 55, so the storyline advances but loses heat, but we have another match for Slammiversary, so I'm going to go book that in. We'll be right back. So that's our card so far, with about 4 weeks to go. I think we are building it. We're building it slowly. We don't need to announce every match in the third week, in the first 3-4 weeks. So, yeah. So far, the card looks alright. I think this, the grand title and the Shelley and Rex match so far are going to be the ones to sleep on. I think the world title match I have planned as well should hopefully crack a pretty good rating. We're going to move on to Braxton and Zack Sabre Jr. defeating local jobbers. It's local jobber night in Adrenaline. In 309 when Sabre Jr. defeats Justin Carino by pinfall with a roaring elbow. And it doesn't matter because he's not going to be here very long. Sabre Jr. with a 54, Sutter with a 52, and doesn't matter about the other two. Zack Sabre Jr. though improves in performance, so that's all good. Sabre Jr. penalised for chemistry, which is not great. Next segment is not bad, actually. Considering they're both rated on entertainment, their entertainment's not too great. Braxton and Zach have picked up a dominant win tonight. They grab microphones and Sutter says, so at Slammiversary, my career is essentially on the line. If I win, I stay. If I lose, I decay. Unintentional rhyme, all that. It's all kinds, and Zach says, well, don't worry, we're going to win. And if we lose, we decay together because you brought me in to help. I'm not just going to forget that. We're in this together, till the end. So, yeah. Just kind of strengthening these two characters, showing the bond, because, you have tag teams that are just randomly thrown together, but you need to, make them mean something afterwards. It's not like, okay, these guys just came together, they're good together, are they friends, are they enemies? You kind of need, are they brothers? These are the kind of things I do want to kind of create these bonds, like the bonds I'm creating between Drake and Conley and Sudden Impact, and now kind of these two. They're all going somewhere. They're all character building. Next segment is nowhere near as good as I thought it would be. Damn it, Chris Hero. He is hanging around the arena. He's, maybe just He's pacing. I think he's pacing. He's not looking right in the camera. He's pacing. He says, so last week I had a match. Actually, I was meant to have a match. I was blindsided by two thugs and taken out of action for a few days. So Trevor Lee, I can see how badly you want to hold on to that title, because not only do you have a lapdog to help you retain it, but you try to take everyone out that wants a shot. And I get why you want to keep that title. I really do. It's the only thing noteworthy you've done here. You haven't won any high-profile matches. You haven't held the tag titles, or the Grand Championship, or the World Championship. And what have I done? I know, I've been here like 2 months. I haven't done anything yet. That changes at Slammiversary because I'm walking in and taking your X Division Championship. So D46, the storyline advances. We can officially book that in. I'll be right back. Yep, so we move into the Bullet Club picking up a win. It's shocking. Bullet Club picking up a win. They defeat the Bromans in 7:53, who are basically release material now. I don't think I'm going to push them. Which, yeah. They defeat Robbie E by pinfall with a 450 splat. Yeah, everyone's pulling out the big moves tonight. Thank you, Nick Jackson, whose pick is interesting. I don't know. 450 splash. Nick Jackson head and shoulders above everyone else, obviously, with a 54. Owens with a 30. Jesse with a 32. Robbie E with a 40. Robbie E improves in performance. Great. Next segment is so we have Natalya, which is interesting because about a month ago I said, why do we still have Natalya in WWE? And I signed her. Because I needed a top heel. Well, I needed like another heel in the women's division. And she is actually one of our top 5 in-ring people. I just need to give her a character that actually doesn't make me want to tear my eyeballs out. And she doesn't wear this stupid hair. I don't know why, but it's heel heat. It's like what Jericho did in 1999, but I can't stand. Like, it's like she's trying to make like cat ears out of her hair or something. I don't know. It pisses me off for no reason apart from that it just looks fucking ridiculous, and I don't know. But Talia Neidhart, because she's going by Natalya. No, so she's going by Talia. Defeats Kaylee Ray in 9:44 with a sharpshooter. C-58. That is our best women's match ever. Like, that is rivaling like most of the mid-card matches. And this isn't sex appeal. This is like just pure wrestling. Because Natty's got a 57. Kaylee Ray with a 45. So our next segment is Brooke storming up to me, completely furious, and she says she cheated last week. Rosemary cheated. I want another shot. She doesn't deserve to. Whoa. Calm down. Look, I saw what happened last week, and as much as I think you were cheated out of the title, I just don't give title shots out left and right. You have to earn it. But that's why next week you'll be in a number 1 contenders match against Gail Kim, Ayako Hamada, Jade, and Taylor Hendricks, with the winner facing Rosemary at Slammiversary. So we will also get that booked in. Alright, so we have, that's our number 1 contenders match next week. And we move into an alright rating. But Paul Heyman makes his way down to the ring with Marshe Rockett, and he says, "Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman, and this is my first client, Marshe Rockett. For months this man was wasted, losing matches left and right, but now I've taken him under my wing to become one of the next Paul Heyman guys. We've started training, and as you'll see, Marshe will soon be ready to begin his rise to the top, because he's now got everything he needs." This storyline does gain heat. C+70, that will do wonders for Marshe, being in a strong segment. And he does defeat Leo Rush in 4:35 by pinfall with the M80. D-40. Leo with the 33. Marshe with the 37. No worker improvements, but so obviously still a lot to do with these two. Of course, Leo, as I've said in the last episode, or the episode before that, he's obviously one for the future. He's like 22. We move into an alright segment, considering what this storyline's had before. It's an okay segment, but EC3 and John Hennigan are backstage, and EC3 says, "Broken Brothers, 2 weeks ago we took you to the limit. We were that close to beating you, even though the titles went on the line. But we got to settle this." Hence the name of the storyline. "Last week you said we could have another shot if we wanted. You're damn sure we want another shot, so this is what we're thinking." Hennigan says, "Next week, main event, titles on the line. Go hard, go home. We'll see you there." C62. We're going to book that in again. So many bookings. Okay, so I booked that in. I also booked in the next match, so that I don't have to, because I know there's another match that I'm going to book in. So instead of booking them separately, I've booked that now. One, because that match has spoilers in it, other than another, just so I don't have to do another recording. Anyway, so yeah, next week in the main event, we will have EC Hennigan, or whatever we're going to call him. I don't know, 1% high rollers? I don't know. Versus the Broken Hardys in the main event for the titles. Who's going to win? I don't know. Do you know? No, you do not. And yeah, so, so next segment. So, thankfully, I did not. Thankfully, I booked the last one then, because otherwise we would have had to book 2 in a row. So, Mike Bennett says, just who are the Miracle Workers? Well, I'm Mike Bennett. You know me well. I am the Miracle, and over the last year, you've seen said miracle in progress. And this is my lovely wife, Miss Maria Kanellis Bennett, the First Lady of Professional Wrestling. But I know you're all wondering who my new associate is. Well, here's the end. He is one of the greatest wrestlers in the world today, and he's going to be in the Impact Zone next week for our match against Sudden Impact. If you need a miracle, look no further than us. So D plus 52, the storyline advances. So yeah, that's the other match I was talking about. Maria is not poor at portraying a heel. What the fuck? Yeah. So it's the Miracle Workers taking on Sudden Impact. Who is the other member of the Miracle Workers? Leave your predictions down below if you want to. Next segment is not bad, actually. Not bad at all. Drew Galloway defeats Eddie Edwards in 10:30 by pinfall with a future shock. Good wrestling, decent reaction. Davey Richards was on commentary, so that's why this storyline has advanced and gained heat. So sweet. That's yeah, not a bad match at all. Eddie has a 62, Drew with a 71. The match got the crowd hotter. No worker improvements, unfortunately, but negatives just for Drew's inconsistency and the low announce experience and the low heat of the storyline. And next segment, C plus 67 is also not bad. Eddie's been demolished by Drew Galloway tonight, even though it was like a 8-minute match. Davey gets up from the announcer's desk and makes his way into the ring. He starts battering and beating Eddie down even more than he was before, and he grabs a microphone. He says, I don't know how many times I've told you to leave, but again, you're just not getting it, so I'm going to have to force you out myself. He grabs a chair, he smacks Eddie with it a couple times in the back, he then gets down and pulls his head up by his hair. He says, Slammiversary. Edwards versus Richards. I'll prove I can beat you, I'll prove I'm the only wolf in Impact. C plus 67, the storyline advances, so we have another match for Slammiversary, and I've got to stop it again. And book that in, so I'll be right. Moving into our first of our semi-finals, we have Chris Sabin defeating Caristico in 14:52 by pinfall with the Cradle Shock. The storyline advances. C plus 68. Thought it would be a bit better, but nothing I can do about it now. Sabin with a 60 and Caristico with a 68. We have negatives for Caristico's inconsistency and Sabin's stamina, and them both being faces. Fair enough. Sabin has done it. C plus C, or not C plus C65 isn't bad. Sabin's done it. He's in the final. The man everyone thought would be a first round knockout has defied the odds and moved on to being one match away from a world title opportunity at Slammiversary. He celebrates in the ring as Crisco just sits outside the ring. He's dejected. That's twice I've done that. I've done moved and dejected. That's just my keyboard being a bit iffy. I can actually spell. While one man's dream continues, one is crushed, and Sabin will now face either Aries or Cole in 2 weeks on adrenaline. So C65 Bullet Club for Life storyline has advanced, and Caristico has failed at, well, he's currently failed at being the first ever Hispanic Impact World Champion. Obviously, he still can be it, but this is just not when he's not going to be able to do it at Slammiversary. So our next segment is not great, really not great at all. Drew is backstage. He says, another week as your Impact Grand Champ, and he's interrupted as the door bursts open and I come in and just charge at him. I brawl with him before it's weird saying but before I just smack him in the head with the chair, knocking him out. And, like, how dare you enraged. Clearly unable to express myself as EMTs come in and check on Galloway. So, yeah, I crack Galloway over the head with a chair, so his mind games are working. Because I'm pissed off. Really pissed off at Drew Galloway. Yeah, just building heat towards the match at Slammiversary. Our next segment is our main event, and it is our best match ever. Whew, that is a good match. Oh, a B82. That B just looks so satisfying. Austin Aries defeats Adam Cole in 16:51 by pinfall with a brainbuster. Their last match was a 73. They had a match 3 weeks ago, and it was a 73. It was a B-. This is an 82. This is 1 mark off a B+. Oh, guess what? Match is getting spammed later. No, that's a joke. Aries with a 72. Adam Cole with a 70. The storyline advances and gains heat. So our final is going to be Chris Sabin versus Austin Aries. And the winner will go on to face Cody Runnels at Slammiversary. And that rating is not great. Aries has advanced to the final as well. In 2 weeks on Impact, he'll take on Chris Sabin, with the winner facing Cody at Slammiversary. Sabin steps out from the commentary table and the two face off to close Impact. So I'm not going to book that in yet, because it's pretty much the end of the show. Or it is the end of the show. So we'll end the show there. B- 74. That's fair enough. The show increases our popularity in 29 regions, but this is a very noteworthy show in terms of debuts. We have our main event for next week. We have our main event for the next 2 weeks. We have Sabin taking on Aries. The winner will face Cody at Slammiversary. We have the first Paul Heyman guy. We have Natalya Neidhart in the Impact Zone. We have Evie in the Impact Zone. We've got Daria Baronato in the Impact Zone. We've got everything's happening. We're going to end it there, so tell me what you enjoyed, what you didn't enjoy, your favourite storylines, your favourite storylines, your least favourite storylines, your favourite main eventers, who do you want me to push, who do you want me to sign, all that. If you want to, you can run through the show in a comment. So just peace, and I'll see you for next week, which should also be a great show.